Have you ever wished that you can relive the history of gaming in a single sitting? That's exactly what Evoland offers. Over the course of my 2-hour playthrough, I was taken on a journey through the evolution of video games, starting from simple 2D pixel art and progressing to full 3D environments. Available on Android, iOS, and Steam for around $4.99, this game is not just a playthrough, it's a tribute to the milestones of gaming history. Each level and each chest you unlock doesn't just change the game's mechanics, but it takes you through different eras of gaming history. The core concept revolves around unlocking new features as you progress. You start with the basic and simple movement and limited graphics, and gradually unlock more advanced features, including sound, color, and eventually full 3D graphics. It's like playing through the evolution of video games from its early days of the 8-bit era to a more complex 3D environment of today. The game's ability to smoothly transition between these different styles is impressive and keeps you engaged as you're always curious about what the next chest will bring. What struck me during my time with the game was how well it manages to switch between genres. It's not just a visual evolution, the gameplay itself changes as well. You might start with basic turn-based combat, but as the game progresses, you find yourself engaging in real-time battles, solving puzzles, and even dabbling in a bit of RPG and card game mechanics. This keeps the gameplay fresh and prevents it from feeling repetitive, which is crucial given the game's relatively short length. One of the biggest strengths is its deep connection to gaming history. For anyone who grew up playing classics like Final Fantasy, The Legend of Zelda, or even Diablo, this game is a nostalgic treasure trove. The numerous callbacks to these games is not just for show, they're integral to the experience. Each unlocked feature is a nod to the past, and as someone who spent countless hours on these classics, it was incredibly satisfying to see those influences come to life in this new context. The game's progression system is another highlight. The way it introduces new gameplay elements such as those evolving graphics, sound, and even save points keeps you invested. There's a certain excitement that comes with each new chest because you never know what significant upgrade it might bring. It's a clever way to keep players engaged, especially for those who appreciate the technical evolution of video games. The game's pacing is also commendable. Despite its short length, the flow of unlocking new features and mechanics is pretty steady, ensuring that you're constantly discovering something new. This gradual evolution mirrors the historical advancements in gaming, and it's done in a way that feels natural rather than forced. The transition between 2D and 3D, as well as the shifts between different gameplay styles, are executed seamlessly, which is no small feat. But for all its strengths, this game does have some areas that could use improvement. The narrative, for instance, feels rather generic and lacks the depth that you might expect with a game with such an innovative concept. While it may be an intentional throwback to simpler stories of early games, it ultimately feels like a missed opportunity to create something more compelling and a memorable storyline. The story itself serves as more of a backdrop for the gameplay rather than something that truly drives the experience forward. Another area where the game falls short is its implementation in RPG elements. The idea of collecting and equipping items and enhancing your character's abilities is intriguing, but in practice it feels incredibly underwhelming. The items you acquire don't significantly change the way that you play, making them feel more like superficial add-ons rather than any kind of meaningful upgrade. This was particularly disappointing because the game sets you up to expect a deeper customization and impact from these items, especially in the ARPG section. The game's brevity is another point of contention. While it's enjoyable for what it is, clocking in at only 2 hours, it feels like it ends just as soon as it gets started. There's so much potential for further exploration and development of these mechanics that are introduced, and it's a shame that the game doesn't fully capitalize on this. The card game, for instance, is fun, but feels tacked on and could have been expanded into a more integral part of the experience. In conclusion, Evoland is a delightful homage to the history of video games, offering a unique experience that's both nostalgic and innovative. It's a game that's sure to resonate with anyone who has a deep appreciation for the evolution of gaming, and while it's short, it has some narrative and mechanical shortcomings. The clever design and smooth transition between different gameplay styles and the joy of unlocking new features make it a memorable experience. If you're someone who loves classic games or simply wants to see how far gaming has come, this game is definitely worth your time. But if you're looking for something with a little bit more depth and longevity, you might find it lacking just a bit. If you have any recommendations for me to review, leave it in the comments section below. Otherwise, stay tuned in to Gaming in the Moment.